YouTube, Electric Adventures here with my channel update for January 2014. First month of the year already gone. Now, honestly, I did spend most of it away at a holiday property because it is Australia, and this is when the warmer months hit us, and yep, off to have some fun in the sun and sand. As you notice, it's very, very light in here, as will be a theme in my videos around this period. Okay, I like to start these videos each month with my other pickups, the pickups that I haven't done a specific video on, and they're usually modern items or just items I've wasn't able to do a gameplay at the time, so or came by themselves and really weren't doing a pickup video. So this is one that I did get off eBay for $5. And it's a copy of King's Quest V for the Amiga. I can't do gameplays of Amiga games because most of the time the discs won't work, and I've got some bits and pieces to set up loading images off the hard drive and also compact flash card, but I haven't had enough time to spend working on those. Now, the reason why the top is a little bowed is I'd say this box is missing its lid. It's also had a bit of moisture there. I haven't tried these discs. They are Amiga discs, and they really do have not a good record for working, even if they have been kept in the best of condition. But as you can see, it's got quite a few discs. The spacer inside and the manual. It looks like, yeah, so look, we've got damp inside the manual, so the chances of these discs working aren't actually huge. And now I've flipped that manual, and it's got a nice damp smell. So the discs probably won't work, but it's nice to have the box in the collection. I can always re-record the disc images back onto the discs as well to repair them, which is not a bad thing to look into. So, I like the old adventure games and like collecting them. I don't want to get too carried away with Amiga big box games because they take up a lot of space, just like PC big box games. Also, another thing I found at our tip shop, I got this for $1. It is only the box, so it is, but it's such a nice tin, I thought it was well worth getting for $1. So Sydney Civilization for the PC limited edition. It's actually in really good condition. This is only a piece of paper stuck on the back of the tin. Now, it does actually have, inside the tin, it has the introductory letter and the manual. So here's the nice manual. It's not damp at all or anything like that, so hopefully one day I'll be able to pick up a disc for it. And it's got the introductory letter. I'm not sure whether anything else came in the tin. There probably was. There's a fair bit of room inside the tin. It was sitting there, and I had a look inside, saw the contents are gone, and said, well, there's nothing in this, would you take $1 for it? And they said yes. So anyway, it looked nice on the shelf, and you never know, I might pick up a disc for it at some stage. I probably have a copy of Civilization 3 somewhere, although it's probably a copy rather than an original. I did get two new generation, well, I still call it the new generation, PS3 and Xbox 360. Yes, I actually bought an Xbox 360 game. So the first game, I got this, it's a second-hand copy in one of the current sales, because I've never played any of the Grand Theft Auto series before going out and paying a fair bit of money for Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, you're looking at the cheapest I've seen that anywhere is around $80, and I really don't spend that sort of money on games anymore. It's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of Wii U games yet. I'm only really looking out for ones that are on special, and obviously most of the good games haven't been discounted yet. But it's actually number 4, but it also comes with the 2 expansions. And I think it was like $15, so for all 3 of those, and it's in excellent condition. Has the fold-out bits and pieces and the disc. The disc isn't perfect, but it looks like a couple of fingerprints and things like that. But it's complete, and I might be able to have a chance, and we've got 2 PlayStation 3s now, so between those 2 might be able to have a go at playing it, and if I enjoy it a lot, maybe sometime down the track I might get number 5. Now, also another game in a series, and this is probably why I've actually bought an Xbox 360 game, because in general things I don't get them, so this is an Xbox 360 only title. I actually bought an original Xbox to play the first 2 games in this series, and love number 3, so we had quite cheap second-hand copies of Halo 4. Had quite a few of them. I just picked one with a nice cover and that looked to be in good condition. I know a lot of people say that the single player story is not very long, but I'd still like to play it. So there's all things about Xbox Gold trial. I mean, I don't have an Xbox Gold membership or anything like that, and I know this is tending towards being an online versus play. Not interested in that at all. I'll just go in and play the single player campaign and have a bit of fun. I've also, on a related item, my old white Xbox 360 I have got hooked up to this new CRT, which I'll talk about more in a minute. It works, so potentially I could play some Xbox 360 games in here. Still not the best TV to play modern games on though. Also another thing which is related to what you can see on the screen back there is I'm not 100% sure if I mentioned this in the previous video, but I got the PS2 network adapter, and in my junk PC and bits and pieces I found a 750 gigabyte hard drive that had the appropriate connector. I've put all that together and put on free McBoot on my PS2 and put quite a few of my PS2 games. You'll notice that some of my PS2 games have started to appear over in the shelving unit over here. I've gradually put them on the hard drive for convenience. Makes it much easier to load them, and you don't have to worry about getting all the discs out all the time. I haven't been able to load all of them. We've got 3 PS2 Fats that gradually built up, and 2 PS2 Slims. One of the PS2 Slims is the one with the external power supply, and one that you generally can't buy lasers for. That one will only play CD disc, not DVD games, which is a bit of a pain. Otherwise works perfectly, and our other slimline works perfectly, but they're not as easy to hack as these ones are. And I've tried 2 of the Fats, and this is the one that which is actually my original one, which is in my daughter's bedroom. Loads disc better, so I'll switch them around. I've given her the one that I had out here, which was my friend's that he gave me, and probably a slightly older model, even though they look the same. But this one's loading a lot more discs when I'm sucking them into the unit and enjoying or re-enjoying some more PS2 games. There's quite a few PS2 games that I've bought in the past that I've never played, and I've been working my way through. Now, the next section of this video, I have a bit of a quandary. I mean, I'll sort of title it, it's going to be about my Magic the Gathering cards, of which I bought a lot of them in the early 80s, which is when the revised edition came out. So my question to all of you, what other things besides video games do you collect? Now, I wouldn't actually say that I actively collect these, because this is also going on to another topic. So here is my actual collection. So this folder contains various sets. The main thing is, I think, an almost complete, I'm not going to say a complete collection of revised. I believe one of the expansions called The Dark, there is a complete collection here, and I have the most of the set called Antiquities. But it has a quandary. I haven't even thought about these for years. I played, when I went to PAX, I played a bit of Magic because I didn't find a lot of LSAT packs that interested me, so by playing Magic I actually didn't get too bored. I couldn't hang out at the retro era, the retro section for all 3 days. This particular page, so if I hold this up, so these cards here, except for this one in the corner, and the 2 companions over the page there, are worth between $80 and $120 each. And they are mint, because they've basically come out of packets and gone into this collection of mine. I collected them when they were new, so the quandary is, if you have something like this, you collected it in the past, you haven't thought about it for a long time, what should I do? Should I, sell those individual cards? Because individually some of the other cards are only like 25 cents or maybe at best case $1. There are some other cards that are like $20 and things like that, but this main page has got $80 to $120 cards. Should I consider selling the whole thing as an almost complete set, or selling those individual cards and letting it go, because I mean pretty much it's just sat in storage for there's going to be a scary mess, 20 years, and hasn't been looked at. I mean, I still have some Magic decks that I can use to play back there. These cards just sit in a folder, and collecting them doesn't have an interest. Collecting video games, and especially the retro computers, is a far greater passion for me nowadays. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I also wouldn't have a clue where I would go to sell these if I did sell them. And to top it all off, because I used to run a sci-fi and fantasy store back at the same period, which is why I collected those things, because everybody else was into them. I also have these rather tatty old folders that contain the folders of rares and extra cards. So I've got all those as well, and I have boxes of loose, probably common ones. And I've got a second folder there as well, so I've got a lot of these things and they're just sitting around, and I suppose it gets to a stage where you're not interested in them. So anyway, interested to hear what you say about that. Next I've got down my Homebrew update. Now, I didn't do a lot of Homebrew programming on my break, because our holiday home we sort of had to share with relatives, and you know, it was sunny and everything, we're busy doing that, and I didn't actually spend a lot of time on the computer, which is probably good for me. But over the last week and a half, I have finally gotten back into my next Homebrew conversions for the ColecoVision, and I have the game Pixidus running really well on the Coleco. I'll try and insert some footage up there, and it's, you know, playing quite well. I can occasionally, I've got one little bug that I know of, but you can intrinsically feel good enough. It's damn hard. I keep on forgetting how hard I used to make games. I've made it a little easier. I've actually added auto fire to it. Otherwise I was finding myself that I wasn't getting very far. I'm going to make that an option, so from the main screen you'll be able to go into options and turn auto fire on and off. For the pedantic, you can have a few control screens there. I'm going to add a height score table. Still haven't finished the intro music and working on the sound effects, so it's really just spit and polish with that one. Now my other title, Cavern Fighter, I have it running on the Coleco as well, and it's you know, running quite nicely. Now both of these two games will require the Super Game module at the moment. We're converting across from MSX, and a lot of MSX titles will need more memory to get performance. If you want to do some of these titles, you've got to drop something. So Pixidus has a double-layered scrolling background. Cavern Fighter, I might still be able to get it into the normal Coleco, but I need to work on it a bit more. So, and I'm working on another mystery project, which I mentioned last month. I'm not going to show any screenshots of that, but I will try and see if I can do some screenshots of that in my next update. So those titles will be released by ColecoVision, and yeah, I love the homebrew scene in the Coleco and the other systems. And these three games will not be all the games that I work on this year, so I'll be doing a lot more homebrew development this year. I really do enjoy it, and it makes a difference from my other type of work, which is more business programming. And yeah, it's what I find fun. So it's balancing that between playing games and obviously work and family issues, of course. So all things in balance, and it's just a matter of finding that medium point. Now, next topic. You'll notice behind me that the old lair monitor is sitting on the floor there, and there is a new screen, well, different model screen, sitting hooked up to the PS2 playing video. Now what happened is the old monitor would work for 5 minutes, and then the picture would elongate out to the side. So there's obviously a capacitor going there. I went on our Gumtree and found that monitor there, which actually, if you put them side by side, it actually has more screen space and it's not as fuzzy, so that's a benefit. And even though it looks like it's got smaller speakers, the sound's better too. And it also probably weighs about half as much as that other one. That's why that one's still sitting there. I don't have a very good back. And it's only going to go in the car when it's going to go on the way to the tip. I've hooked all my systems up, all of them work, except for the ColecoVision, which it tries to display in colour. You see colour for a couple of seconds, or if you wiggle the cords, you can get colour flickering, but otherwise you get black and white. So unfortunately, my ColecoVision's had to move over to the other side of the room, to the retro computer side, which makes it very difficult to record high score challenges, because you've got to record the whole thing direct off the screen, not screen capture. But otherwise I do screen capture fine from that side, so I'll still be able to do Coleco gameplays and videos fine from that side of the room. But it also means I've got to rearrange that side of the room, because I've got stuff sitting on top of each other now. Now, as far as the screens, it's got lovely scan lines. I might do a little insert where I'm showing you close up of the screen's capabilities. I'm quite pleased with it, so very happy to have that in the room, and it looks nicer. It's not as imposing as the other one. It doesn't stick up to the side, gives a little bit more room, but the screen is actually about half an inch bigger diagonally than the other one, and it is actually squarer, whereas the other one was sort of in a widescreen shape, so the aspect ratio is better in that one. That's probably one of the main improvements, actually. Now, a quick mention of YouTuber of the Month. I'm no longer running YouTuber of the Month. Obviously, it's past the end of January. The winner's been chosen and will be announced by the 16-bit brothers as soon as they've had a chance to, collect the video off the winner and put a video together around that. I'm really looking forward to that and wish them the best on running YouTuber of the Month. I had a great time doing it last year. But as I said, I've got a lot of other stuff on. I don't want to concentrate on my homebrews. I'm also so coming up, I still have one more retro computer that I already have here that I'm putting together some video on. Obviously, away on holidays, haven't really had a lot of chance to play with the retro computers. I'll probably be doing more things on the retro computers this year, on what I have, on some of the collections. And on that subject, a couple of people requested this. Obviously, I have quite a large MSX collection. I have finished photographing each one of them now, besides the ones that are in my last video. Just got a photocopy of those, and I'll be putting together a collection video, which will basically be a slideshow with some music, maybe some text, and I'm going to start working on my website, electricadventures.net again, and I'll start putting some of my collections up there. Good programming hobby and just a bit of a data entry exercise for me. So give me 2-3 weeks and I'll have a few more things up there, and I'll try and keep new content going on there. New ideas for new videos. I would like to do a Homebrew report, so a show called Homebrew Report or something. I haven't quite locked in the name. I might do it once a month or once every fortnight. Haven't decided on that yet. Where I'm going to have a look at the homebrews that are coming out for various systems. So that'll include all the 8-bits and all the way up to, say, like the Sega Dreamcast. Just a bit of a news show, and maybe we can wrap some reviews of some games in there as well. Although generally I'll do them in a pick up and play when I get them. And perhaps some other videos, top 10s, and some responses to some other people. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I always enjoy putting together these monthly ones, and they are some of my more popular videos. So I hope everybody had a good month, and I'll catch you all later.